$60,000. That's what I was quoted to get my hair back. I never thought I was going to be looking into hair transplants or plastic surgery. I've lost a lot of hair. But $60,000 from a US surgeon, that's like my daughter's college education fund. That's like a car. It's a down payment on a small house. I was shocked. Then I got some other quotes, but they were 15,000 pounds, $35,000. It was very unclear about what the results would be. Were we going to do this in one session, 2 sessions? What would I look like? What would my donor area look like? There was such a lack of clarity around what that money was going to buy. Some doctors wanted to be conservative and do it in 2 sessions. Others wanted to be aggressive, do it in 1 session. It was confusing. So I've spent the last few years of my life researching hair clinics. And the one thing I told myself was, Nick, take your time. Take it easy. There's no hurry. You're going to be just as bald in a year. You can lose a bit more hair in order to get some of your hair back the right way. I'm half Greek, and my friend said, why don't you look over there at some cheaper clinics? So that's exactly what I did. I started looking over there. I got a lot of quotes. In Greece, I've been quoted 5,000 euros up to 8,000 euros max. Turkey, 3,000, all the way up to $10,000 actually. It's hard to find a good clinic. There's a lot of very aggressive marketing. Some of the top clinics in Turkey spend $40 million a year in online advertising. It's hard to make your way through to figure out who's qualified and who isn't qualified. The real truth is at least 1 million people a year go to Turkey to get hair transplants. It is a major spot for getting them. It's really worth checking out. There's some great work that takes place over there. There are some great doctors, wonderful aftercare, wonderful facilities, wonderful hotels to stay at, and just a wonderful place to visit if you're into history, traveling, luxury, relaxation. That doesn't mean you need to do it. That's a very personal decision, and take your time, figure it out for yourself. This has been an interesting trip for me. I'm 41 years old now. I never thought I was going to be looking into hair transplants or plastic surgery. About 10 years ago, I'd gone to one of the top doctors in New York to talk about my hair loss. He was completely bald, and I asked him, do you mind that you're bald? And he said, no, I don't really care. Being a macho man myself, I said, I don't really care either. He gave me Finasteride to take. It made me quite depressed. Finasteride is the medication that blocks dihydrotestosterone, DHT, which causes male pattern hair loss. I am a non-responder to it, so I lost all my hair. Even though I took it, it also made me quite depressed, so I went off of it. And one of the issues here is that I've lost a lot of my hair. I am a Norwood around 6 on the Norwood scale up to 7. So not every surgeon can do my hair surgery. It's quite difficult. There's very few people who can do it very well with good density and all of that. It's been quite a search to find who I'm looking for. The other question is why? Why am I looking into this? And there were a couple things that happened in my life journey. The first one was I got very, very sick with COVID around 4 or 5 years ago. It gave me very bad heart problems, myocarditis, pericarditis, and I couldn't breathe. My heart rate was going up to 200 beats per minute, and I actually became pre-diabetic, put on a ton of weight, and I ended up going on Ozempic. Ozempic is nothing short of miraculous. I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to recommend it to people, but as far as my journey goes, and it's way more than just weight loss, it's been fantastic in my health journey and really a form of biohacking, if we're going to be honest. But it led to some extra hair loss. You can see I have a bit of Ozempic face here under the chin. So it's led to some unexpected consequences. The other big thing that happened is I'm a single father to an 11-year-old girl. It's just me. And I only recently started dating again in my 40s. And what I've been shocked at is how much looks matter now. We have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, everyone can see your profile online. I always used to be the younger guy. I was younger in my class, I was younger in school, and now all of a sudden I'm the older guy. Looking like the older guy really has consequences. Ageism is very real. The last form of discrimination, which is still practiced today. If someone looks too old, especially in a corporate setting or a dating setting, other people will say, oh, they're just too old. And the world's a brutal, brutal place. Again, I'm not recommending that anybody go out and get a bunch of plastic surgery to not age. We're all gonna age. At the same time, there are certain biohacks, and that's really how I look at this. There are biohacks which a person can use to slow down their aging. And the first biohacks actually have nothing to do with plastic surgery. Good diet, low inflammation diet, different supplements, healthy life. One of the simplest ways to not age, for me at least, is to not drink alcohol. So I personally don't drink. I haven't had a drink in something like 7 years. But as I started looking into plastic surgery, the other thing I realized was there's a real artistry behind what's going on by the top surgeons. The results that are taking place are really, really amazing when it comes to hair transplants, neck lifts, and all kinds of new procedures with lasers, injectables. And it is really one of the great technology stories of our era that isn't being told. It's being told from very dangerous place of half-lies, sales, influencing, but really the technology. And one of the great surgeons who I'm very, very thankful to was in New York City. He said to me, just take your time. You don't want to change your face too much and your appearance too much. Do what you need to do, see how it looks. If you want something a year or two later, get something else. But don't go in and do 20 things at once. Now again, because I've been to Turkey, I've seen what's going on there. People are getting 20 things at once. It's a look. If that's what you're into, go for it. I'm not the person here to tell you what to do and what not to do. As far as my journey goes, I'm not going to go off and do 6 different surgeries at once. Slow and steady for me. The part that I will probably do first is this chin part. I continue to lose weight with Ozempic. I've lost about 60, 70 pounds. One of the things to me is that each time I go under general anesthetic, there is a risk of complications. And being the single father to an 11-year-old girl, I really don't want to take a risk that leaves her fatherless. So it's one of the reasons why I'm being extra careful picking the clinics. You need to be thinking about that yourself as a patient. What are the risk parameters? If you are a famous actor, you're auditioning for the role of a lifetime, you need certain plastic surgery to get that role, and you don't have any dependents, and it's really make or break for you. You are in a completely different category than I am. And it's for you to make the decision about the risks and rewards that are worth it to you. So in my case, I'm being very careful on picking the surgeons. I think I've just found the surgeon for my neck. He's one of the top facial surgeons in the world, trained under the top surgeons in the world. And also just a very likable guy. I like being around him, like talking to him. I feel fine with him cutting my face open, as well as having a cup of coffee with him, which I think is pretty important. That's been my story, really just researching and talking to other patients and taking my time, and in the end deciding that it is quite difficult to research, it is quite difficult to find a good doctor, and there's a better way to do all of this. So we're building a platform, Luxera, where our plan is to aggregate all of this and to help patients make better choices and really find the intersection of quality and price where it comes to plastic surgery and what they would like to do, where they would like to do it, how they would like to do it. And we're constantly bettering the platform. If you have any comments, any thoughts on it, if you have any questions you'd like us to answer, please either put it in the comments section or message us directly. We love working with people. We love helping other patients out. And it's not just plastic surgery, it's also things like IVF. IVF is very expensive in the United States. In a place like Greece, it costs $3,000, $4,000 for a full cycle. It has very high quality results. So does Israel. There's great quality healthcare at very, very affordable prices. You don't have to do it at the end of the day. The cheapest cost of a plastic surgery is not doing it. If somebody says, hey, the information that was given to me on that channel was good enough that I decided not to do it, that makes me very, very happy. I'm going to be making more of these videos about my journey. If there's anything you'd like to know, please subscribe, hit the like button, shoot us a comment or a personal message to our email, and I'll be doing it with you. See you in the next one.